Usually, it's difficult for us to separate the professional from the emotional part, and we can develop some attitudes that are not good to show to the other person, probably because we are not thinking in a proper way. Hello, my name is Geronimo Campusano. I'm a computer science student, and today I'm developing the reflection number 2 for collaborative leadership. Today we will be exploring the chapters from Shankman and Nicola Strauss, seeing and relating this to my professional growth as a computer science student. Okay, let's go back a little bit to the past, where I was used to be like an open book. I will tell everything to everybody. And this is like a pretty bad habit because I was getting like generic responses to everybody. And probably they will just reply for politeness with a sympathy that says just, oh, okay, I'm sorry that happened to you, and just that. I was empty. I wasn't satisfying the yearning to be understood that Nicholas Strauss mentioned a few chapters ago. So right now, I changed my mind. I would prefer just to tell things to the people that really I know that are gonna be in my shoes. For example, projects to my parents or failure amorous relationships to my friends. I'm not looking for a magic answer. I'm just looking to be understood. So this led me to the first phrase that Nicholas Strauss mentioned, that different people have different emotional needs. People also have different ways of communicating. For me, I didn't need a solution. I just wanted to be understood by someone that really gets into my problem and go down the hole with me. And with this, I also changed my mind in the way I give sympathy. Because I realize, if nobody cares about my problems, why should I care about the world problems? I don't have the need to damage my whole day just for hearing a bad news in TV. So it's basically like I will just say, I'm sorry, and keep going with my day. But with a pretty close person, that changed. Because the first thing that I was gonna say is, do you want me to listen you or to advise you? Because if they want me to hurt him, it's because they really care, they really need me. And I appreciate that from a close friend or from a family member. This also has to see where Nicholas Strauss says responsive listening involves stopping what you are doing long enough to hear the other person out, then letting him know what you understand him to be saying. So that's it. I will just stop my whole thoughts to give all my attention to the person that needs me in their life. Because I know in the way I receive the empathy for them, I also have to give empathy. With the way I receive empathy and sympathy from others, it's curious because I was like modifying the way I give depending on how I receive from the people. So I start valuing the empathy from the people and I start just like, yeah, acknowledging the sympathy from others. We have talked about interactions like sympathy and empathy that are like, well, good actions, but what about that type of hot buttons, like the comments or actions that go straight to our heart and don't come with a positive reaction, mostly like a bad one? For me, it is that people gossip and tell lies about me. It's weird because I have a philosophy that, for example, if I take this cell phone and I say, what, this cell phone is useless, it's garbage, it's tiny, it's so slow, are the comments gonna change the state of the cell phone? No, they're not, right? And we can abstract that to a person. So if the other people comments affect me, well, they're not. I mean, they're just comments. The only comment that or opinion that matters is mine, because the way I feel, it's the way I'm gonna portray outside. And we can relate this to a phrase in Nicholas Strauss that says, when we get hooked by someone's emotions, we are apt to react automatically, adding our own feelings to what we have just taken in. So basically, we'll just take like a direct attack when someone says a bad comment from us because it's attacking our reputation. So we will take it so personally that we are not even thinking or reflecting or trying to even understand in a rational way what is the person saying about us. In conclusion, with these concepts about how to manage empathy for good relationships, and sympathy to do not overload myself, I can start growing in that aspect. And also, with intentional listening to don't overreact with my hot buttons, I can become a better leader. Like for when leading a team in a company, I will have to deal with many type of these situations, and as a leader, as other people are watching me, I need to give example for the others. So I cannot overreact. I need to take these techniques and apply it to be a better leader and a better person. Thank you so much. Well, and something that really got me into when I was reading Jackman, that I just said I need to start applying this because, as I told you, I got like the philosophy, but I don't really apply it. It's a hot button in me. It's that, well, according to Jackman, emotional self-control is about intentionally managing our emotions, maintaining a level head, and understanding how and when to demonstrate emotions appropriately. So this is like a good thing because the first reaction that you are gonna start taking on is like a defensive, like no, I'm not that well, and start justifying yourself, and often that can lead to lose credibility. I follow a person called Andres Bilbao. He's an entrepreneur, and he says that when you try to over justify or try to speak more than you should and do not address the other person's problems, you start losing credibility. And as Nicholas Strauss says, to avoid getting defensive, concentrate on listening to the entire criticism, then ask without sarcasm, is there anything else? Finally, offer your understanding of what the person was trying to say. So, if we try to really get into her, just her, stare, do not make any faces, because one face can say more than 1,000 words. If you immediately overreact, like, no, you can just listen and with a straight face say, is there anything else? And that is gonna start putting you in a position of respect because you are not justifying yourself, you're trying to understand the other person. So after that, you can, well, if you have like a fault, acknowledge that fault. Like, if all of that story it's not true, probably a part of it is it, and say, hey, I acknowledge that this is my fault and I wanted to clear. So is this what you were trying to say? That person is gonna value a lot the honesty you have to express the situation. That yeah, you have a fault, and you're gonna express the situation in your own words, so that person is gonna be listened, and you can start working on that after that.